everybody, welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, MOODZ616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, day 30 is here on the 31 Days of Horror Volume 3, and we are going to take it back to 1971 with a Swedish flick called The Night Visitor. Yes, this one was actually put out by VCI. Yeah, The Night Visitor is like such a generic title. These are the worst titles to search for, because when you search a title like The Night Visitor just on Google, like a million films come up. That's brutal. I can't stand them with generic titles, but yeah, this one right here is starring Max van Sydow, who is most famously, probably most famously known for starring in The Seventh Seal, directed by Mark Bergman, one of my favorite films of all time. I absolutely love that movie to death. And there's kind of a minor, there's like a minor connection between these two. But getting into the synopsis of this one. This one follows our main character, Salem, played by Max van Sydow. And he has been falsely imprisoned in this insane asylum for murders that he did not commit. So now he is hell-bent, and he's devised this crazy plan to get revenge on the people that wrongfully accused him and put him in behind bars, basically, for the rest of his life. So that is the synopsis of the film right there. Now, my thoughts on this one. Now, the premise is really, really basic. It's ultimately at the core just a revenge film. But it's more than that, man. It's actually really well done. It's a really cool story. First off, this movie is shot so beautifully. As if you can see in the background, I think that's like the opening scene in the film right there, where it shows, it shows him actually escaping the insane asylum in the beginning of the film, and it's this great, beautiful shot. It's the dead of winter. He's in his underwear. He's running through the snow. You can feel the coldness. It just has this really eerie, cold, atmospheric, gothic appeal to the film, and it just wins you over right away in like the first 2 minutes of the movie. Totally fantastic stuff, but I really like the way this one unfolds. You get to learn a whole pile of stuff about him and the characters that did what they did to him and things like that. It's awesome. This one right here is more of like a thriller drama with horror elements to it. It's got a police investigative side to it also, which the police investigator in this film is actually one of the coolest characters. He's great, man. I think the script and, the script in itself is fantastic. There's a lot of really great dialogue in this and stuff, and what really sells this film is the overall look and the actors in this. They really sell everything so well. I think everyone does such a fantastic job with the acting in this one. It's just really, really good stuff. But yeah, getting to the core of this one, where, you have this character, Salem, who is, escaping this insane asylum, and, he goes and does what he needs to do on that particular day. But the thing is with this film is that he doesn't stay out. He actually goes back like every single night, because that's part of his plan. He wants to make it look like someone else is doing this shit. He wants to kind of ultimately frame somebody else for all the murders and stuff like that. So I think that's a really cool premise, and it actually shows about halfway through the film exactly how he's getting out and how he's getting back in. And I wasn't sure if they were going to do that, because you get it in the beginning of the scene where you see him running out of the building and things like that, and kind of doing, we get that side of it, but then it actually shows everything too, which I really like that in the plot. It's very melodic. It's very, it's just a very melodic kind of story. It's just the way everything unfolds in this one is very cool, actually. It does have slower parts in this one. I will say that it gets a little bit slow. It runs just over 100 minutes, so it's, there is issues with that, with some of the pacing towards like leading into the third act. But if I had one major complaint with the film, it would be the fact that they don't really show any of the killings on screen. And it's kind of a minor complaint, but I think it works both ways for this story. Not having the kills on screen, you can kind of use your imagination and stuff. I mean, this character is already a sympathetic character, but you're rooting for him because, you really want him to get the revenge on the people that did him wrong. So I can see the point of like not showing the killings, but at the same time, you really do want to see these people go down, and you want to see them suffer a little bit. I wish they had shown a little bit more in that aspect, but judging by the cover, it's got an axe on there, and even on the back, it shows an axe stuff, which, ultimately does play into the storyline and things like that. But that was one of my major complaints in this film. Now, the connection with this one and the Seventh Seal is, it's kind of odd because, in that film he plays chess with the devil, or with with death. And in this one, there's actually a few scenes where he's playing chess again. Just like this minor, you know, connection between the two films, which I thought was actually kind of cool. You know, originally I read that Christopher Lee was actually supposed to star in this film, so that would have been actually pretty interesting if Christopher Lee had done it. But I think it works a lot better being a Swedish production with you know, with Max von Sydow. So, but all in all, man, this is a really good film. You know, it's like I said, it's more on the thriller drama side than horror, but it definitely has those elements, and it's a good film. It's actually a really, really solid film. I'm going to come in at about an 8.5 on this one. I think all the specs of this movie are fantastic, right? You know, the cinematography, the acting, the story, minor complaints with the pacing a little bit, and the music's fantastic in this one too. Harry Mancini did the music for this, the guy that did the Pink Panther music. So it's kind of cool. The score is fantastic, but it's just got a really great gothic atmospheric feel to this. And I don't think there's really a lot of plot holes in this one too. I mean, you have to stretch your imagination too, that he's not going to freeze and die out in the dead of the winter and stuff when he's escaping and going back and stuff. But they do show you, you know, exactly what he's doing. So it's kind of cool, man. It's really cool. But I recommend the Night Visitor. The one from 1971, not the other 10,000 movies with the same title that came after 1971. So, but yeah, give it a shot, man. This is a really, really cheap Blu-ray from VCI. And I will say the transfer looks really good. VCI actually did a pretty good job with the transfer. This one is pretty bare bones. It does have a new commentary on it. So, you know, if you're into commentaries and stuff, but yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it here for day 30 on All Hallows Eve. Yes, tomorrow is the big day, day 31, which of course is Halloween. So exciting. So I'll check you guys then. Until then, peace!